My name is Tom Walter. I'm the Chief Culture Officer of Tasty Catering. I'm a serial entrepreneur who started 47 companies now and been involved in the startup. I've only started one myself. And I'm now reaching the apex of my life, the end of my entrepreneurial career. I'm spending more time sharing my experiences. I've seen a lot of business plans and I've mentored a lot of young entrepreneurs in college, over 55 of them. The ones that have been successful are not the ones that are in love with their product. It's the ones that seem to be enamored with the system, with what it takes to make their product successful. I only invest in our people because I understand their values. I understand that they're good people. That doesn't mean that they'll be successful entrepreneurs, but it means that when in doubt, they will choose the right path. They will do the right thing. They follow ethics. They're very strong ethical principles. They have integrity. And we can always find advisors and mentors and money and contacts and capital is so important in entrepreneurship. We can find those, but how to find the right person that has the ethics and the drive, that's why I only invest in people that I know, people that work with me. The people that I seem to gravitate towards admiring their success are the people that have done it with an ethical background, a strong ethical foundation. Organizational behavior is, you build an antecedents which transfers to behaviors, which transfers to consequences. And if the antecedent, if the person's foundation is strong ethics, usually that invokes trust. Trust in the marketplace, trust by bankers, trust by advisors. And then the behaviors can be altered by having consultants into alter the behaviors. And the outcome will be fine. But if the ethical foundation isn't there, I don't know of many entrepreneurs personally that have terrible ethics or lack integrity. And I know that we celebrate Omron and other great companies that have been run by people that have lack of ethics, that ignored the fact of ethics. But ethics are innate to the human being. No matter what country we come from, no matter what civilization we come from, ethics are equally applicable to everyone. And someone that chooses to pursue dollar over happiness, I don't think they achieve success very often. And qualify success. What is success? I think it's personal fulfillment. I think it's at the end of the day smiling because your life is good. The biggest challenge I ever had was a decision to have integrity and be ethical or not. Friends of mine were telling me to steal from the sales tax department of the state of Illinois because I had a cash business back in the 70s, and they said they will never know what they don't get. Just line your pockets with cash. My wife, who was a certified financial planner and a woman of high integrity, told me, if you do that, I'll never trust you again because you're a thief. And she said, eventually you're going to get caught. You're going to do something that will ruin you. So I didn't want to lose my wife over stealing. So we've survived several audits, state audits, IRS audits, and our returns have been accepted as filed. And a friend that was very powerful advocating towards stealing cash ended up losing his ability to do business in Illinois because he got caught. So I think that was the biggest decision I made. I was going to do the right thing. And even if it was illegal, it was going to be moral, and it was going to be ethical. It was going to be the right thing. Because then I wouldn't have any regrets. I wouldn't have to wonder about what lie I told and how I was going to cover that up. So when the challenge was do something that didn't follow my natural values and didn't follow my inherent ethics, I finally say no to that. Life has been simple going forward. I've relied on positive psychological capital, which is defined as hope, efficacy, the ability to set goals and achieve them, resiliency, the ability to overcome problems, acceptance to accepting the problem, and optimism, the hero within us. And it's easy to Google positive psychological capital and understand hero. But also, just as important, if not far more importantly, is I believe that there's a purpose for me in my life. And if I do what I'm supposed to do every day and pray for acceptance, just accept what was dealt to me, it's going to be okay. And looking back at 49 years of running businesses, it is. It's just sometimes you fail, and sometimes you're successful, but I do the best I can every day, and that's up to the higher power. It's up to God, whether you consider your higher power. But it's no matter how much angst, no matter how much I tried myself, no matter how upset I would get about certain things, it didn't mean anything. It doesn't make any difference. So the ability to turn it over, which I learned in Alcoholics Anonymous, the ability to turn it over to a higher power and just say, give me the acceptance. You gave me the problem, now give me the acceptance to handle this. That made it through a lot of angst, and as I grow older, this is what I'm telling my children and the young entrepreneurs that I'm invested in and invested in, and the ones that I mentor. Do your best, find the best help, and when your best isn't good enough, accept it and move on. Move on to the next one. And I've lost a lot of money in 2 businesses, and I've lost several businesses that were underperforming. And I just learned it. No matter how angst I got, it didn't make any difference. My leadership has evolved, and that's probably the biggest transformation I've made in the business world since I was a young man in my 20s to today. I was the child of a World War II Army sergeant, and he had 11 children, and I was the second oldest. And I was the oldest boy, and therefore I was his enforcer. So when he gave orders, I had to make sure it was done. And if it wasn't done, I get slapped in the face for it, because there's no choice. I accept responsibility, I have to produce. So when I started in business, I was that, even though I hated bossing. I became a boss, a manager. I've come to believe this, especially talking to young people today. People don't want to be managed. You can't manage human beings. To me, that's like slavery. You manage systems and processes, but people you lead. Management has become passé. In fact, management is where the problems exist in an organization. Any system that has top-down command and control is doomed to fail because young people don't believe in it. It's a shifting, a seismic shifting of behaviors. In World War II, the United States survived because of command and control. It's not the way the United States is going to survive today. Everybody should identify who they are. Who are your values? What are your values? What do you stand for? And what will you never compromise? And then don't compromise them. So first, identify your values. I ask my children to write down their 5 core values. Never tell me, but write them down, put them in the drawer, and look at them every day for a month. And you will become that person. And both of them became very successful leaders because everyone could count on them to be a certain person. Second thing is, I think that you should understand what positive psychological capital is. How you can rise above the medium crowd. How you can become better through hope, efficacy, resiliency, and optimism. And third, the best type of leadership of all, the most respected type, from academia, Dr. Bruce Zabolio of the University of Washington, to the CEO of a major corporation, Mr. Bill George, who now is also teaching at Harvard, is authentic leadership. It's no longer servant leadership. It's no longer transformational leadership. It's not command and control. It's authentic. And what authentic leadership is a person that lives their values every day. They earn respect, they earn trust, and they earn emotional commitment. They're entitled to have a bad moment, but they know how to apologize. They're humble, they're vulnerable. And if you're a young person, you don't have to act like a tough bad guy, bad girl, whatever. You don't have to be super powerful. You just have to be who you are and let your ideas come through, because once people accept you for being you, they'll listen to your ideas. But if you change from day to day, moment to moment, they're never going to trust you. So earn the trust.